we already know that YouTube is really great for that full sight, sound, and motion creative space. It's the opportunity that we have to explain our business a little bit more in a creative way. So a few things when it comes to driving that creative. One is editing for mobile. We also want to talk today about designing for attention and action. I have some examples that we're going to go through about different types of ad formats that you may not thought about yet, or you may not know how to explain that back to your client or to your boss or internal or external stakeholders that you're working with. So how can we design our ads to grab that attention and then lead them for that final action? And then how else can Google help you? What are some tools that you can use that might actually help you measure and optimize your activity even better? So let's start off with editing for mobile. And I think sometimes this is kind of the scariest thing. If all you've been doing is working with search, you may think like, I don't know creative. Like I don't know how YouTube works. I'm not a writer or a production person, and so you feel this like insecurity already going into like talking about video or with your clients or producing that. But the truth is what I mentioned earlier. You yourself are a consumer. You yourself already watch YouTube. You know when content or when ads are working for you or not. So let's expand upon this a bit. We have this one ad here. This is just a fake ad that we did for a fake product in order to run some experiments to understand how video works better for mobile. So let's go ahead and watch this. And we want to pay attention to pacing.
Don't you hate it when you just get stuck? You try this, you try that. Nothing seems to work. You ask the internet. Nothing. You ask the internet again, but differently. Maybe you even ask an actual human. Nobody seems to know.
How can I get the help I need? I'm stumped.
That's how I was. And then I found the thing.
Looks like a box.
It's not. Well, it is a box, but that's not the thing. It's the thing. And the thing about the thing is it unsticks the stuck no matter how stuck you are.
I want one.
Of course you do. It's the thing.
So like I said, it was a fake ad. It was basically a video ad experiment that Google ran. You can read about this actually in adage.com. Adage.com wrote an article about this, about Google's secret video ad experiments. They wanted to see what kind of ads actually work for our audiences. So it wasn't bad, but let's go and let's have a look at another version of this ad. Let's see which one you think would work better on mobile.
Don't you hate it when you just get stuck?
You try this and you try that, but nothing seems to work.
Left,
right,
up,
down.
Nothing.
You ask the internet.
Nothing.
You ask the internet again.
But differently.
Maybe you ask an actual person.
Your peculiar neighbor?
That friendly barista?
Nobody seems to know.
You're stumped.
That's how I was.
Until I found the thing.
Looks like a box.
But it's not.
Well, it is a box. But that's not the thing.
It's the thing.
And the thing about the thing is it unsticks the stuck.
No matter how stuck you are.
Want one?
Of course you do. It's the thing.
Okay, so I would say that this version on mobile would work a lot better than if you're viewing this on, desktop or even on a TV. The format is much better suited for mobile, and this is actually what the results of this, secret experiment were. That although version 1 and 2 performed similarly on desktop, this version far outperformed on mobile. And the reason for that is because it was faster paced. There was closer and tighter framing and cropping. So on a little mobile device, when you're looking at this, you're able to engage a lot better with the people that are featured in it and the thing, the product itself, than when it was compared to the first version, which was zoomed out a little bit more, slower pace. This one was sped up a little bit more. Framing, cropping was a lot better for mobile, okay? So try to think in terms of mobile, how even the assets that you already have, and I'm sure that you already have some video assets that you're already working with, how can you repurpose that? You don't need to think about, oh my gosh, I have to ask my client or to ask my internal stakeholders for more money to create more videos. Why don't you work with what you got already and see how you can repurpose that? Here's another example of Neutrogena's ads. And for years, Neutrogena, has been doing TV ads. The one that is built for the 55-inch screen here, that was an ad campaign from 2017. What they were doing, and like what many of us have been doing, we take our TV ads, if any of you guys are already doing TV ads, and we just throw it up on YouTube, and we think, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter if they're watching this on mobile, it's gonna have the same results. And likely, it's not gonna have the same results because our mobile devices are completely different. And what I love about the fact that we're having this session in Canada is that most of you guys have, if you grew up in Canada, you probably have seen those Heritage Moment commercials growing up, right? You guys remember, we created basketball, we had like the one about the stroke thing, which I can't even really remember. But one thing I remember about those Heritage Canada moments was the Marshall McLuhan, the medium is the message. Do you guys remember that one? I was always so confused by that when I was a kid. I was like, I don't understand what this means, because he was a communication theorist. Like, imagine little kids watching that and being like, oh yeah, I know what that's all about. So the medium here is the message. And if you're gonna try to watch this Neutrogena commercial that's made for a TV format on your little phone that you're trying to preserve all your battery for to last you throughout the day, you have it as dimmed as possible, you have all your power savings on, are you really going to resonate with this commercial that you're supposed to be seeing on like a huge smart screen TV? Probably not. So Neutrogena flipped the script a little bit. They started different types of ad formats and ad campaigns where the creative was focused more on the product. You can see here really large letters, really large graphics. Help is one wipe away. And they've also brightened up the imagery of this ad itself. Because if you have all your brightness turned down on your phone, you're not gonna really be able to make out what those little tiny text is on your little phone. And this is something that worked really well for their target audience, which are teenagers and millennials. But even if you have an older target audience, I was speaking with some of you guys, and maybe it's the CFO that you're trying to contact or trying to get their attention, or you're trying to get an older demographics attention too, you might want to focus on the graphics as well. So not just the little tiny clinically proven acne medication, just one wipe away. Okay, I have another ad here. This one's a little bit risque, guys. And it's for a 55-inch TV screen.
The gravity here is too strong for my ship.
Looks like you'll have to spend the night.
Yeah, the night.
One thing led to another, and...
I don't think that's how they're made.
Klondike hooks up with your favorite flavors to bring you the best ice cream bars ever conceived.
Okay, pretty funny commercial. Obviously, sex sells. Ice cream, I feel like you don't even need to bring that in. Like, everyone's gonna buy ice cream for sure. But this ad here, it obviously used humor. It was really funny. But it was made for like a larger, screen. And somebody who's just kind of maybe watching TV and the ad plays. But what Klondike did is for a mobile device, they made some edits, okay? So they did some cropping, they did some pacing and framing changes. So you can see compared to the original, even at that 5-second mark, they're doing close-ups of the actual characters involved in this. And they're also ending the video a lot earlier. So one thing to think about is, if you already have a 30-second video, see if you can cut that down to 15 seconds. If you have a 15-second video, how can you further cut that down to hold their attention faster? And it's great if you're already running TV, you want to keep those TV ads the same. It's a very different intent when you're kind of sitting and watching a video on a large screen versus when you're on the go on your mobile device. There's ways that you can edit that original creative that you have to make it work for you. And what we found with Klondike was that there was a 15% lift in their key brand metrics. So this was something that they found to be successful for them. Now this is really important because you might go to all this trouble to create this video or to crop it and paste it, and you're working with different teams to do this. But it's really important where you position those graphics and text. So if we go back to that Neutrogena example, where we saw all of the different, one wipe away, the product showcase right dead center, you want to work within this box that's colored in blue, because you have to think about, on YouTube, you're going to have that visit advertiser icon in the top right corner. You don't want any pertinent information being blocked by that. You want to also avoid the call to action overlay, bottom left corner. And of course, we have that skip button. We have to be really mindful of that. And then the bottom strip where it has those player controls. So try to center it into where we see that blue box. And when you're also cropping either current assets that you have, or if you're going to be creating new ones. Positioning of that is really important. So for mobile, I mean, these are the main takeaways when you're thinking about mobile. Faster cuts and pacing, brighter footage, because most of us we have our power savings settings on. Larger text and graphics, kind of hard to see on a little phone what message you're trying to convey if you have it in smaller font. Text positioned to the right, we saw that example with Neutrogena, and then that close cropping. We saw that with Klondike when they re-edited it, when they're zooming in more on the characters or more on the text. So designing for action and attention. I'm gonna play this video, and I wanna know if you guys know what this is. So let me play it first and then see if you guys know what this is.
America runs on Bulova time.
That's literally the ad. Anyone know what that ad is? Watches, okay, that was the product, yeah. But it was actually the very first ad that was aired in the US. So, I mean, it's not that great, right? But that's all we knew. Our muscle memory was, all we knew was radio at the time. And we know that video killed the radio star. So in this case, what they were doing was they were just taking their radio ad, throwing on an image, and then putting that up on TV, because that's all they knew. That was their muscle memory. And so this is what we've been doing as well for YouTube. We're taking our TV ads, we're not even really thinking through, and we're just putting it up on YouTube. And years from now, there's gonna be a new cohort of people here, and we're gonna be showing, TV ads that we put on YouTube, and people are gonna be kind of like, ew, that was terrible. But we're gonna get better, right? We can't just rely on this muscle memory we have and what we've been doing for years and think that's gonna work now with this audience. It doesn't. So we have to think about where our ads are gonna be seen and how the audience is gonna be interacting with it. Overall, there's a few things that we really wanna focus on whenever we're talking about video. We call them the ABCDs, basically. First is attract. We have 5 seconds before they're gonna skip it, right? So how can you hook them in that 5 seconds? With audio, with visuals as well. How can you hold their attention? How can you convey your brand naturally but intentionally? You wanna make sure that they know what your brand is before they skip that ad. You wanna make sure that, yeah, maybe they're just anxious to go and watch whatever content that they've come onto YouTube to watch, but have they identified with your brand? Are we gonna be seeing some subsequent searches that come off the back of that? Are we gonna see a lift in branded searches following that? How can we connect with them? Hold their attention with emotion, audio, pacing. I feel like, with the last ad that we just saw, with the kid growing up, getting the keys, I mean, that was something that we've probably all gone through as well. That audio in the back kept us a little bit more engaged, and it was faster too, so the pacing of it held our attention more. And then how do we get them to kind of do what we want them to do, the actual conversion? That, we can use the call to action buttons to do that as well. So typically what we've seen with most ads is that traditional story arc. You lead them in, you build them up, you have the big reveal, the offer and the branding. We saw from the video when we raised our hands that people aren't making it to that point already when we take them on that journey. They're bouncing right away. So we have a different arc that we want to focus on. We call this the emerging story arc. And this one, we're just starting high. We're hooking them right away. We're capturing their attention right away. We give those subtle brand cues, so We're being natural with it, but we're still being intentional so that they become aware of the brand already. Take them on that journey, unexpected shifts, multiple peaks, and then at this point, true enough, your audience may skip or may not be engaged with it, but there might be a subsect of your audience that's still engaged. And so you want to be able to give them more of a story, highlight more of what your creative's all about. And I really love this slide because it kind of combines the power of both of those things that I was talking about, where that first phase, you're starting high. Maybe you'll introduce the problem right away, hook them right away, grab their attention right away, and really attract them right off the bat. Then you have your big reveal. This is where you might be introducing your brand, the product, the service, you're showcasing it. I'm gonna show you some examples as well. You go on to explain those benefits, those features, all the things that you know is gonna really help your potential consumer actually convert. And then maybe the offer, maybe the call to action. You tell them what you want them to do. Now we have those call to action buttons. That's also gonna help because that'll always be displayed as well. But you can, of course, incorporate that into your creative as well. You don't wanna miss these main points. You wanna make sure that this is incorporated into your videos. So let's watch this. This is what we would call a classic explainer ad. So let's watch this and let's kind of dissect this a bit.
Old insurance kinda sucks, but Lemonade is different. When you pay us, we take a small flat fee. The rest goes to covering your stuff. So if something happens, we pay super fast. That's what you get when you have bots instead of brokers and algorithms instead of paperwork. Best part, leftover money goes to nonprofits you care about. Seriously, that's Lemonade. Insurance powered by AI and driven by social good.
Okay, so I thought this was a really great video, being able to explain something kind of complicated like financial services. Also, they're branded as Lemonade, so I automatically think of Beyonce, and so all the Beehive is like, yeah, I want that, whatever this Lemonade product is. But you know, they start off with the problem statement, right? Like, old insurance kind of sucks. You know that you may need insurance, but it's kind of complicated, so you don't really know how it works. It's kind of outdated. You've always heard your parents talking about it, but you don't really know what it is. Lemonade's a little bit different. Obviously, they're going for like a younger target audience here. They explain what they're all about with their low premiums, fast claims, powered by AI. Of course, we live in this generation now where everything is like powered by AI, algorithms, machine learning, and then that strong call to action, get Lemonade today. And then throughout this, not only are they highlighting all of their benefits, like their products and services, but they have this really engaging animation. You know, you don't even need real people and hiring this huge production company. They've got an animation there, and they've had the voiceover. A voiceover which is not like your traditional like radio voice. It's just, you know, someone who sounds like maybe me and you who's doing the voiceover. So you have that more emotional connection right away. And I always hear people say, well, I don't know, like I have to hire actors and I have to do this and that. You can quite literally get animation. I don't encourage stock video, but that is an option as well if you really wanted to trial video. You do have stock imagery, just like how you have stock video, just like how you have stock imagery. And you can even just use images as part of your videos as well. So let's watch this, what we would call a product demo. This is really showcasing a product if you guys actually have a product that you're trying to sell. So let's play this one. Okay, cool. So this one, you know, a brand called Vichy, and this is when they're really trying to, you know, showcase their product. They introduce their product right away. It's a heroic product shot, beautiful imagery. It already evokes a sense of like organic, natural product. Then they go on right away to demonstrate the features and benefits. They have the models close up, their luminous skin, and then they're going in and they're describing in big, bold letters, remember, for a mobile device, really clear, light background, bright background with those value claims, hydrating, bright, etc. And then they end off by focusing on the brand again, and then repeating that branding, and then trying to drive users to the website. This is a really great way to showcase any sort of product that you want to highlight, those features and benefits and things that may differentiate you from your competitors if you actually have a physical product. And then let's run this video on a straight offer ad. This is a company out, an ad that was aired in Vietnam, a Vietnamese retailer named Sendo.
Tưng bừng ngày hội mua sắm trực tuyến 1 tháng 12, ngập tràn khuyến mãi mua hàng liền tay. Lên ngay siêu chợ Sen Đỏ.
Chợ em giảm giá khủng nè, lầu lầu mới rẻ xin mời mua ngay.
Chị đại Sen Đỏ.
Vậy thì chợ chắc phải thua. Sen Đỏ siêu rẻ, rẻ hoài quanh năm. Siêu chợ Sen Đỏ, giá siêu rẻ.
Awesome. So, I mean, this is something where they're just like, hey, we have an offer coming up. This is a seasonal sale or an ongoing promotion. They capture your attention right away. Right off the bat, they open with what their offer is. 50% off. They give you the end date too. Kind of creates a sense of urgency, and they're already showcasing what the products are that are on sale. And if you miss it, obviously you're going to be disappointed, like the people that you see that are missing the sale, and then all the happy people shopping for the sale. So they kind of cut to the chase right away. If you already have an offer that's attractive, especially if it has like an end date and you're trying to create that sense of urgency, you're really trying to capture the audience right away, highlight the offer right away. Like I said, start high and then take them through that journey. So overall, you know, a few things. Because we know people are searching more for mobile, how can we edit it so that we have close crops, big text and graphics so that they see it on their mobile devices, brighter footage, think about the device that people are viewing it on, and typical user behavior by minimizing the brightness on their screen, and how we can have footage that performs better on a mobile device. Short, sweet, fast. Quick cuts, fast pacing. Front load your message. You only have a few seconds to capture their attention. Let's face it, we have a very short attention span. So you want to try to cut to the chase as quickly as you can. Win them within the first 5 seconds. Use humor, entertain them, introduce the product if you actually have like an actual product to showcase, but be able to take them on the journey as quickly as you can and use that sight and sound. Whether it's booming music or whether it's a voice overlay, if you have to actually explain something about a difficult product, like a financial product, and then be really clear with what you want them to do, with a clear call to action. Don't just have people like guessing it. Just tell them what to do. And you can also be creative with that. You don't have to say like, browse my range, you know, like let them know that there's gonna be more information for them to get access to if they, you know, sign up now or visit the website or whatever it might be. And then lastly, I think this is really important as well, and something that a lot of us forget about is what else is there from YouTube that can help you optimize and get better. YouTube is the largest, you know, attention lab. You know, we're constantly going and creating content for YouTube, going in there and uploading it. We saw billions of people are watching, you know, billions of hours worth of content. We have YouTube Analytics. By show of hands, how many of you guys are using YouTube Analytics already? Okay, so not even half the room. Okay, I really want you guys to consider YouTube Analytics. This is where you're going to really find out a lot more about how your audience is engaging with your videos once you create the videos, once you launch your ads, and even just regularly on YouTube, you'll get such a wealth of information from there. One of them being these YouTube retention curves, which we can actually now see within Google Ads as well. So when you're actually doing your advertising, your paid advertising, you can see these retention curves. This gives you so much information. When are people dropping off? Are they dropping off before you even tell your offer, before you even communicate your message? This is a good, you know, way that you can front load your message then. How can you revamp the current creative that you have so you get to your message faster? Is there like critical information that's being skipped? And how can we alter this messaging? So, you know, maybe we can put these learnings for other media as well. There's also a ton of other information that you can gain from YouTube Analytics. And another thing about the support pages for YouTube Analytics, it's actually really, really helpful. They go into a lot of detail on how you can make this work. Thanks, everyone.